As a matter of fact, some of the most charming celebrities have ended up in toxic relationships with less than exceptional individuals. Since love is blind, it might be difficult to see when tragedy has suddenly entered someone's life. However, the only reason these celebrities didn't flee in horror when they learned the truth about their partners is that love must also be deaf, stupid, and naive. Number 6. Nicki Minaj. Why is Kenneth Zoo Petty's background contentious, and who is he? Kenneth Zoo Petty, whom Nicki Minaj married in October 2019, had served time in prison, just like the animals in a real zoo. In 1995, at the age of 16, Petty was found guilty of attempting to commit rape. Prosecutors claim that Petty coerced Jennifer Ho into having sex with a sharp instrument, which Ho described in a September 2021 episode of The Real. Ho told the Daily Beast that she had to relocate 3 times in 2020 alone because of the cyberbullying and threats she received from Minaj's fans, on top of the trauma of the actual sexual assault. She further said that Minaj and her friends had offered her money in exchange for her dropping the charge against Petty. I was terrified of being discovered. I didn't want to be recognized as the person he raped, and I was terrified of doing just that. I didn't want that to reflect on my children, Ho said on The Real, adding via Yahoo that, it's Nicki Minaj. As a result of the incident, Ho filed a harassment lawsuit against Minaj, which remains pending. In 2006, Petty entered a guilty plea to manslaughter for the shooting death of a man that had occurred 4 years earlier. 2013 saw his release after serving 7 years in jail and the commutation of his 10-year sentence. Number 5. Paul McCartney. Before their March 2008 divorce, Paul McCartney and Heather Mills' marriage didn't seem to be doing too badly. Mills' attempts to get $250 million from the former Beatles member did not impress Justice Hugh Bennett, who oversaw the separation. Her requests for $400,000 a year for private flights, $80,000 for wine, and $250,000 for clothing were ridiculously unreasonable. Indeed, exorbitant, Bennett stated via People. Bennett concluded that much of her evidence, both written and oral, was not only inconsistent and inaccurate, but also less than candid. In March 2015, Mills continued to disparage McCartney even after receiving $48.6 million as part of the divorce settlement. When I go down the street, I get kids coming up to me. Half of them don't even know who he is. That's why he's got to do songs with Rihanna and Kanye West. So people remember, she said on the UK's The Late Late Show, implying that McCartney was unimportant. She said, I own the world's largest vegan firm. I just fell in love with McCartney, who seemed like a regular man who just so happened to compose some very great songs in the 1960s and 1970s. Number 4. Ronnie Spector. In 1968, music producer Phil Spector married Ronnie Spector of the Ronettes. The pair truly created outstanding music together, but their relationship quickly soured outside of the studio. Ronnie claimed to The Telegraph that Phil held her captive in their shared residence, allowing her to leave only once a month for a mere 20 minutes to buy feminine hygiene supplies. She said that he would send a bodyguard to locate her if she took more than 20 minutes, that he often kept her shoes hidden to prevent her from leaving, and that he forbade her from doing any public performances. I didn't talk at all the last year of my marriage because he would yell at me if I said anything, so why say anything? She recounted. Every night when I was married, I sobbed. She also revealed that Phil had threatened to kill her if she ever left him, and he kept a gold casket in their home. Spector was found guilty in 2009 of shooting and murdering actress Lana Clarkson at his house in 2003, even though he insisted that Clarkson had committed suicide and maintained his innocence. It feels wonderful. In response to a question about Spector's 19 to life sentence, Ronnie told The Telegraph, "It feels wonderful. I became stronger the more he attempted to destroy me. The thought crossed my mind, how could you? I am not your property." Ronnie posted on Instagram after Phil passed away in January 2021, calling him a brilliant producer but a lousy husband. Number 3. Dita Von Teese. After dating for 5 years, Dita Von Teese married Marilyn Manson in November 2005, but the two parted ways in December 2006. After the breakup, Tease told Harper's Bazaar, "Let's just say that it must have been something really horrible for me to pack up my things on Christmas Eve and walk out of the home after 6 years together." Despite her silence, speculation suggests that Manson began dating actress Evan Rachel Wood. Between 2007 and 2010, Manson and Wood continued dating. Wood accused Manson on Instagram in February 2021, saying, "He began grooming me when I was a teenager and horribly mistreated me for years. Manson coerced and indoctrinated me into complying. I no longer live in constant dread of extortion, defamation, or reprisals. Before he destroys any more lives, I'm here to expose this deadly guy and the several businesses that have made it possible for him to do so. I support the many victims who are refusing to remain quiet." Game of Thrones actor Esme Bianco filed a sexual violence lawsuit against Manson in April 2021, and at least 4 other women reported abuse, according to Vanity Fair. In an Instagram message, the Dope Show singer said that all of the events in his relationships and interactions were entirely consensual and disputed all of the accusations. Number 2. Aaliyah. An eyewitness said in court that Aaliyah, who was 13 or 14 at the time, had a sexual connection with R. Kelly, who was in his mid-20s, according to the New York Times. A year later, Kelly and Aaliyah illegally married, reportedly due to Kelly's belief that she was pregnant with his child. Kelly faced charges for bribing a government employee to furnish Aaliyah with a false identification document purporting to be 18. The union was dissolved. Numerous women have accused Kelly of sexually assaulting them while they were young, and Aaliyah is among the youngest females who reportedly experienced this abuse. The BBC reports that in September 2021, a court convicted Kelly on 8 charges of sex trafficking and 1 count of racketeering. Besides facing sex abuse charges in Illinois and Minnesota, Kelly is also facing trial in Chicago for obstructing justice and possessing child sex photos. 4 women separately sued Kelly between 1996 and 2002 for a variety of claimed sex acts that purportedly happened while they were minors. The cases were resolved out of court. In June 2002, the court found him not guilty of creating tapes of child sexual assault. In Florida, separate allegations of creating pictures of child sexual assault were dropped between 2002 and 2004. Number 1. Robin Givens. What caused Robin Givens to rise to prominence in 1987, and who is she? When Robin Givens first met heavyweight champion Mike Tyson in 1987, she was a rising celebrity. After a year of courtship, the couple was married, but their union was everything from ideal. Givens revealed why she adored Tyson in a joint 1989 interview with Barbara Walters. "He's brilliant. He is kind. There's a really tender side to him. More than everything else in the world, he loves me. I enjoy that he seems to need me." She was similarly open, however, when questioned about Tyson's alleged domestic violence. "He has a very erratic temper." Shortly after the interview, Tyson and Givens were divorced. He claimed that Givens and her mother had plotted to defraud him of his money. It only takes a second to support us. Hit like, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more.